great founder and editor, Thomas Lifson, a good friend. He reports that Senator Dianne Frankenfeinstein, leftist kook of California, that her husband won a near billion-dollar California high-speed rail contract. This guy's raking it in all the time with the post office. Remember? Now with the high-speed rail line. Makes a lot of money from the communist Chinese and just having a blast, these Frankenfeinsteins. Although his name is Haas. To the surprise of absolutely no one familiar with the ways of corruptifornia, writes Lifson, the one-party state completely in the hands of the Democrats, a consortium whose lead firm is controlled by Richard Blum, his name's Blum, husband of Senator Dianne Frankenfeinstein, was awarded a nearly billion-dollar contract for the construction of the first phase of the so-called high-speed rail link to San Francisco and Los Angeles. Those paying attention to the project call it the half-fast rail line because it will share track with conventional commuter rail trains in the sprawling L.A. and San Fran areas, lowering its average speed to levels achieved by American railways a century ago. It's a massive boondoggle, crony capitalism, redistribution of wealth from what the left calls the middle class to the rich. But not the rich who actually believe in capitalism and earn money the good old way. No, the crony capitalists who know people in high positions. Must be nice to have a spouse in the U.S. Senate. California.com writes, the Perini-Zachary Parsons bid was the lowest received from the 5 consortia participating in the bidding process, but low is a relative term, they write. The firms bid just below $1 billion to build the wildly anticipated first section, it's only the first section, of high-speed rail track that will tie the megapolis of Madeira to the global financial center of Fresno. Do the division and you find that the low bid came in at more than $35 million per mile. And that doesn't include the cost of the rolling stock. That's engines and cars to the normal among us. Nor does it include the cost of electrifying the route. Does it at least include the cost of land acquisition? No, it does not. As this fiasco progresses, remember that this $35 million per mile represents the best California can do on the section of track the high and crack speed rail authority selected to go first because it's supposed to be the cheapest. Imagine when they start having to buy real estate or condemn properties around L.A. and San Francisco, how much that's going to cost. The Tudor Perini, the lead contractor controlled by Di-Fi's hubby, has an interesting history. This is from the National Black Chamber of Commerce. According to the New York Attorney's Office, U.S. Attorney, quote, following a 4-week trial, a federal jury in Brooklyn yesterday found Zarab Marshalin, the former president of Perini Corps Civil Division and International Construction Services Corporation, guilty of fraud and conspiracy to launder money. The charges arose out of his false representation to New York government agencies that disadvantaged business entities were performing work in connection with the major public works contracts when in reality, no, he had non-disadvantaged businesses favored by the Perini Corporation do the work. Just another day in Jerry Brown's world of imaginary high-speed rail that's sure to cost at least twice what it's budgeted. And yet, Richard Blum, or is it Bloom, or is it Mr. Frankenfeinstein? Dianne Frankenfeinstein's husband always manages to find a way to get his piece of the action, and it's always the biggest piece. Story I did a couple months ago. Federal government selling certain post office properties, an enormous amount of money. Some of them are in very exclusive areas, valuable land, and he just happens to be a majority owner or part owner of a massive commercial real estate firm. I wonder if the Justice Department's going to conduct an investigation on this one. No, I doubt it. Liberals get away with everything. Ted Kennedy were here, he'd tell you. Liberals can get away even with murder. Allegedly. Allegedly, of course.